Have you ever noticed that birthdays don't feel the same for everyone? For some, it's a festival, a day full of balloons, cakes, decorations, Instagram stories, and endless excitement. Friends, family, gifts, attention, it all comes together in a perfect celebration. But for others, a birthday can feel like any other ordinary day. No cake, no party, no calls, no messages, just a date on the calendar that comes and goes quietly. Why is that? Is it sadness, emotional maturity, or something else entirely happening in the mind? Today, we're going to explore the psychology behind birthdays, and by the end, you might even understand your own birthday habits better. For some people, birthdays are complicated. Not because they don't care, but because their minds have been shaped by early experiences. Imagine this: as a child, your birthday came, but nobody remembered. Friends didn't wish you happy birthday. Your family was busy. Perhaps a small party was planned, but nobody came. Over time, the brain adjusts. Psychologists call this learned helplessness. When repeated disappointment occurs, the mind learns that expecting happiness only leads to pain. Eventually, birthdays stop feeling special. They become ordinary, just like any other day. No excitement, no planning, because caring starts to hurt. And this is just about birthdays. It can influence how we approach almost every important moment in life. The concept of learned helplessness was first discovered by psychologists in experiments with animals. When an animal repeatedly experiences negative events it cannot control, it stops trying to escape, even when escape becomes possible. Humans experience this too, often in subtle ways. Repeated emotional letdowns teach us to lower our expectations. Birthdays, anniversaries, or even small celebrations might no longer feel like an opportunity for joy. They become reminders of unmet expectations. Then there's another group of people, those who live life in fast forward. Work deadlines, college assignments, family responsibilities, social obligations, and the endless stream of stress can overload the brain. When life is this busy, even the most special days can lose their significance. Their birthday isn't ignored, it just gets squeezed into a packed schedule. Morning meetings, afternoon assignments, calls, errands, and suddenly the day is over before they even realize it. Psychologists call this time blindness. When you're constantly moving, both time and emotions slip away. Special days stop feeling special because the brain is just trying to survive. Time blindness is more than just forgetting an event. It's a psychological phenomenon where the perception of time and personal experience disconnects. For people living on the fast track, the birthday becomes another task, another line on the calendar. Not because they don't care, but because their mind is preoccupied with survival, priorities, and responsibilities. Their focus isn't on celebration, it's on coping. This is why sometimes we meet people who seem to have it all: successful careers, friends, family, but they can't pause long enough to enjoy even a single birthday. And then there's the third group: people who know it as their birthday but don't feel the need to celebrate. Not out of sadness, not out of stress, not because they don't care, it's emotional maturity. Research shows that people who rely on external validation, attention, gifts, parties for happiness tend to be more emotionally unstable. But those who value themselves internally don't need a calendar date or external recognition to feel special. Psychologists call this the self-determination theory. True happiness comes from control, personal growth, and self-satisfaction. These people might think, I don't need candles or cake to prove my value. I know I'm important, without anyone reminding me. This mindset is fascinating because it extends beyond birthdays. People who treat birthdays as ordinary often carry this philosophy into every aspect of life. They don't chase the spotlight. They don't seek likes, comments, or attention. Their joy is self-generated. Of course, they feel lonely at times, they're human, but the difference is that they've learned that every day can be special, if you choose to make it so. Life itself becomes a celebration, not just a single date on the calendar. Let's look at some examples. Meet Emma, a young professional who grew up in a busy household where birthdays were often forgotten. For her, celebrating her birthday feels uncomfortable, even sad. Instead, she finds small joys: daily morning walks, cooking her favorite meal, connecting with close friends occasionally. Her happiness doesn't depend on a single day. Then there's Raj, a college student, always rushing between classes, internships, and family duties. When his birthday arrives, it often slips by unnoticed, not because he doesn't care, but because his mind is preoccupied. Time blindness, stress, priorities. And finally, we have Leela, who consciously chooses not to celebrate birthdays. For her, self-worth is internal. She celebrates life daily, using each moment intentionally. Candles, cakes, attention, they are optional. What matters is her sense of existence. These stories show that birthdays aren't just about parties, they reveal underlying psychological patterns. Past experiences, life pace, and emotional maturity shape how we experience even small rituals. So, where do you fit in? Are you someone who loves grand celebrations because it brings joy and connection? Or are you someone who lets birthdays pass quietly, finding fulfillment internally? Neither is better than the other. Both reveal deep insights into your psychology. And here's a question. If you could design your ideal birthday without constraints, what would it look like? Close your eyes and imagine it, not because it's expected, but because it reflects what truly matters to you. For some, ignoring birthdays may stem from past pain or neglect. For others, it's about priorities or schedules. And for the most emotionally mature, it's about inner peace, understanding that self-worth is internal, not dependent on validation from outside. The question isn't whether you cut a cake or throw a party. The question is, where do you find the celebration of your existence, outside or within? Whether you throw a huge birthday party or treat it as just another Tuesday, your approach reveals something about your mind, your priorities, and your values. Some celebrate to heal old wounds, some because life is busy, and some because happiness comes from within. The key is awareness. Understanding why you do what you do can change your perspective, not just on birthdays, but on life itself. Every day has the potential to be special if you choose to see it that way. If this video made you reflect on yourself, subscribe to our channel for more insights into human behavior. In the next video, we'll decode another human habit and uncover why we act the way we do. Remember, your life is your celebration. Choose to make it meaningful every day.